My beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I was gonna go film this little mental health check-in, check-up, Q&A, whatever you want to call it, in my car, but then I remembered I don't have a car in Florida and no one is home. So here we are sitting in the kitchen. I'm in a little stool. I just dyed my hair dark, so if I keep touching it, yell at me in the comments, but it's gonna happen. Anyways, I wanted to make this video because number one, we haven't caught up in a while. Number two, so let me start out by telling you guys kind of where I'm at right now. First of all, this tank top is from Amazon. So, okay, that literally has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Where I'm at right now, I am in Florida, and so many people have been asking me, are you going back to Hawaii? Did you move away from Hawaii? No, guys, listen, I have a lease in Hawaii until next March, so I will be back there. I just wanted to kind of come home for the summer. I missed my family. I haven't seen them in so long, and I'm just happy to be home. And I was getting super overwhelmed. I was having a really hard time with my mental health in my last month or so while I was out in Hawaii. So I was like, you know what? I'm coming home. I'm regrouping. It's what I need to do. So that is why I'm home right now. Let's go ahead and get into it. I asked on my Instagram story to ask me questions about mental health or questions about me. Basically whatever you wanted to talk about that you find sometimes hard to bring up in a normal conversation with someone. Before I fully get into this video, I want to quickly delete the stigma behind therapy and let you guys know that talking to people and talking about your problems and voicing what you're going through is going to help you get through what you're going through so much quicker, which is why I want to talk about BetterHelp. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. If you're noticing that something is interfering with your happiness or you're struggling with a lot of obstacles, I want to tell you about BetterHelp. BetterHelp assesses your needs and matches you and pairs you with your own licensed professional therapist. And you can start communicating with them in 48 hours. That's just 2 days. BetterHelp is not a crisis line. It's not self-help, but it is professional counseling done securely online. There is such a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 15,000 plus counselor network, which may not be available locally in so many areas. This service is so cool because it's available worldwide. No matter where you are in the world, BetterHelp is right there for you. You can log into your account and message with a counselor anytime. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly videos and phone calls. This way, you won't ever have to sit in that uncomfortable waiting room that you might have to sit through if you're going to traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating amazing therapeutic matches so that it's free to change your counselor at any time if it's needed. It is more affordable than other traditional online counseling, and financial aid is available to you. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today, and I want you to start living a happier life today too. Visit betterhelp.com/Lexi, that's betterhelp.com/Lexi, and join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. I have a special offer for my channel's listener. You guys can get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Lexi. And guys, instead of just sitting here and talking to you about BetterHelp over and over and over again, I wanted to show you how simple and easy it is to fill out the questionnaire. I downloaded the app, I answered all of the questions, making me feel so comfortable with the person I was going to be matched up with because our values would resonate, and it was just very important questions that I'm super glad that they asked. And it is just so simple and quick and easy to just get everything going. It's honestly crazy not to at least just try it out. And it's gonna ask you how you found BetterHelp. You guys can go to YouTube, select my name. For now, I just clicked a random YouTuber that I know, and it is just that simple. Guys, please try this. I mean this so genuinely. We're all going through something, guys. Sometimes we all just need to talk to someone else about what we're feeling and what we're going through, which is why I teamed up with BetterHelp. And I am so glad that I did, because I think that this is something we should all look into, if not use. That being said, I want to go ahead and get into this video and answer all of these questions that were asked on my Instagram story, and let's go ahead and roll with it. First question I'm going to go ahead and get right into is how to love your body. How do I love my body? How do you love your body? How in the world do we learn to accept what we look like in a world that is so negative and so specific on what looks good and what looks bad on a human being? First of all, your body is normal, and what's not freaking normal is the standards that social media puts out. We are not made to look like supermodels. That's why we're not all supermodels. Not only is that not realistic, but it doesn't matter. What you look like doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel. And by that I mean, If you want to eat 17 freaking cookies one day, eat 17 cookies if that's what makes your soul feel good. There's so many more interesting things about you besides what you look like or what size you are. We're all constantly, we're growing, we're changing, just like our minds are growing and changing, and we're always thinking about different things and wanting to do different things. Our body wants to do different things sometimes. You'll notice that sometimes you're heavier or lighter. It doesn't matter. Body helps you with everything. The least you can do is give it what it wants. And sometimes that's a lot of cookies, and sometimes that's a really good workout, okay? And I'm just going to leave that at that, besides also telling you that I need you from now on to every single day when you wake up, go stand in the mirror. Doesn't matter what you look like that day. And you are going to say, I love myself. I love this body that provides for me. That's it. Listen, I struggle with this all the time, guys. But I'm working on it just as much as you are. We're all beautiful. We're all unique beings. We're not all made to look the same. That would be really boring. What has been your hardest battle since you started social media? Okay, that being an easy one. I, for a while in the beginning, was very, very easily persuasive and naive to the fact that people could convince me and people could change my mind to believe a certain thing. By that I mean, oh, you have to do this if you want to be accepted here, or you have to look like this if you want to be able to do this. No, it all goes back to the same thing. I am a unique being. I am deserving of everything. I have no problem being myself. But in the beginning, I would read comments and I would be like, oh, I have to change this because this person said I do. And that was a struggle for a really long time. And I'll notice myself when I'm kind of in a bad mental health state, I'll give into comments so easily. I sit there in my sorrows. I'm like, the world hates me. Everyone hates me. I'm kind of just the worst person in the world, aren't I? No, you're not. And I think the one thing that's really helped me get past that is being able to just literally not give a crap what people have to say about me. I am myself, and I will keep being myself. Someone commented this one: what is a healthy relationship with food? A healthy relationship with food is eating what makes you feel good and doing it because it makes you happy, not because you want to look like something, but because you want to feel something. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to judge one person's diet and compare it to my own or to someone else's. We all have different bodies. We all need different things, okay? So a healthy relationship with food is eating what makes you feel good. How do I cope with bad mental health days? Okay, so on a bad mental health day, I will find myself waking up super late, not wanting to do anything, being the opposite of productive, just sitting in my guilt of not doing anything almost because I get so upset that I'm being lazy. First of all, sometimes we need those days. Sometimes we just need rest. But on the days where I do know that I need to get up and I need to work, yet I feel like crap and I have no motivation, I have to sit in the mirror and be like, dude, you got this. You are capable. You are powerful. You are going to get things done today. And honestly, that always helps me a lot. But I just try to keep myself busy on those days where I don't want to sit in my thoughts. I just try to continue doing something, whether that's working out or going for a walk or listening to music, having a dance party, or working on whatever I'm supposed to be working on. Keeps me away from those negative thoughts. So I would just recommend staying busy, finding a hobby, doing something you love, and try to avoid sitting in your thoughts. No one wants to just sit there and think and think and think. It never leads us to a very good place. Best advice for getting out of a funk: the one thing, do something different. Sometimes this may just be something that's personal, but when I find myself in a funk, I simply need to change something, change the direction I'm going, or do something different. Because if I'm in a funk and I keep sitting there having the same day over and over and over again, being like, okay, today I'm gonna get out of my funk, that's not necessarily how it works at all. What helps me get out of my funks, for example, I came back to Florida. I was in Hawaii, and no, it doesn't have to be something that extreme or that drastic. Just wake up and spend your day in a different environment. Like if you're in a funk and you can't get any work done, go spend it at the library. See if that helps. But doing the same thing over and over again, our brains aren't configured to be able to just snap out of a funk like that. How do you stop comparing yourself to others? I've gotten much better at it. I found myself struggling with jealousy a lot. All the way from back in high school, middle school, I was always jealous. And it was never like, I don't like that girl, she's prettier than me. It was more like, I hate myself. Like, why does she look so much better than me? And that sucked. No one, like, it was never anything against the person I was jealous of. It was just the self-hatred and the self-guilt that I wasn't good enough. The one thing I've learned that has really helped me when it comes to comparing myself or jealousy is simply looking at the bigger picture, all right? We all are insecure about things. We all have individual things that we're insecure about, and that one thing that you might be obsessed with about that other person might be one of their biggest insecurities. And I don't know, putting that into perspective makes me realize that, you know, my flaws are also my perfections. And that sounds so cheesy, but it's true. I grew up all of elementary school being insecure about my freckles, and I hated them. I always wanted to cover them up. And then I grew up and everyone is like, oh, I want freckles. I wish I had freckles. And it just put into perspective. I spent so much time when I was younger hating something about myself that ended up being one of my favorite traits. Life is way too short to hate things about yourself. I mean, seriously, 5 years down the road, we're not going to even be thinking about that thing. We're going to love it and we're going to appreciate it. Look at yourself as a work of art, okay? And look at other people as a work of art. We're all individual works of art. Just stop comparing yourself. Look at yourself and appreciate yourself. Next time you find yourself being like, oh, I wish I had that, I want to look like that, or I want to do that, take a second, look in the mirror, and give yourself credit. Not only for how beautiful you are, but for everything that you've accomplished. And just be proud of yourself. Loving yourself and knowing your self-worth helps you diminish that constant comparison so quickly. We are each unique individuals. How do you stay in the moment? How do you avoid thinking about the past or thinking about the future? Not to be straightforward with this one, but the past is the past, and you can't change a single thing that you've done or that has happened to you. You cannot go back in time and change it. So why are you going to waste time right now constantly thinking about it? Move on. Let it go. Let yourself be right here. Okay? This is the person right now watching this video. That's who you need to be focused on, not the person who did something a week ago. And when it comes to worrying about the future, there's nothing that you need to be worrying about right now in this moment. I mean, literally, as you sit here and watch this video, what could you possibly do right now that would fix the thing that's supposed to happen in a week? Again, nothing. That is the expression or the conversation that changed it for me and really made me realize that, okay, this is who I've got to work with. This is it. I can't change that. I can't change this, but I can do this. I can be here and I can be now, and I can focus on what I need to focus on in this moment. Anxiety. I struggle. I am a very anxious human being. And I notice that my anxiety gets really bad when I don't pay attention to it. Now listen, I know that might not make sense, but when I'm aware of the fact that I'm anxious, it's easier for me to turn it off by taking a few deep breaths, doing some yoga, going for a walk, putting my phone down. But when I know it's there and I don't acknowledge it and I just keep letting it happen day after day after day without giving myself a break, I end up coming onto a breakdown, and then I just find myself in another funk. When it comes to anxiety, be aware of it, notice when you're anxious, take a few deep breaths, and keep moving. People always say, just don't be anxious, don't worry about it. We all know that that doesn't work, okay? So just be aware of what you're feeling, allow it to happen, but also allow it to pass. That's the key. How do you stay so positive? I'm an optimist. I truly believe that if we think that there's good in the world, there's always going to be good in the world. If we think that we're capable of doing something, we're going to end up being capable to do that thing. It's as simple as that. I see the world in a very anything can happen kind of light, not a this is bad that's happening, this is bad that's happening, that's unrealistic. I just don't think like that. Focusing on what is good around me and what is good in my life. I mean, I could sit here right now and talk about everything crappy that's happening in my life, or everything I'm stressed about, or everything that sucks. But what good would that do for me? Advice I would give my younger self. Young Lexi went through so much. I had the meanest people around me in middle school who actually brought me to the lowest point in my life, to where I didn't think I was worthy of anything. I didn't think I deserved anything. I thought I was a terrible person. I believed everything that someone had to say to me or about me. And I didn't even think twice. Someone called me a rat, and I thought I was a rat. That's not an exaggeration. I really believed I was the worst human being because I listened to what other people said to me. So to younger me, you are a masterpiece and you are beautiful and you deserve good. And that's it. I think that that's all she needed to hear. And I think that that would have changed a lot of things, because it was once I realized that I was able to become the person that I am today. Accepting that you are incredible and not making excuses for why you're not. I think that over here it's a little bit better. How do you find yourself? Well, you never really do, because we're constantly changing and we're constantly growing, and this is a good thing. We are always developing and we're always learning new things about the world around us and about ourselves, and it's just a constant journey. So just keep looking, and although it might never give you that satisfaction that I did it, I found myself, I'm ready, and I'm never gonna have another problem again in my life. That's not how it works, because there's so much out there for us that throughout our lifetime, we're gonna find so many more good things about ourselves, to love about ourselves. Don't know if that makes any sense. It makes a lot more sense up here than I think it just did coming out. When it comes to finding yourself, do things you love and you will learn so much about yourself. On that note, that's all of the questions I'm gonna answer today, but I do wanna give you this quick little message and this quick little note that wherever you're at in life is where you're supposed to be. And I don't know if you're struggling, or I don't know if you feel like you're on top of the world right now, but either way, or if you're somewhere in between, trust the process and trust where you're at, because I know that I wouldn't be the person that I am if I didn't have miserable days that led me to realize my self-worth and led me to understand who I was and what I was capable of, and that the world is my oyster and I am in control of my feelings and how I react to things and how I get myself past things. And I just think that that's a good reminder for all of us to have every once in a while. Even me, sometimes I need to just be reminded that it's okay to feel where you're at. It's okay to be where you are. And if you are struggling, there's people out there, there's people you can talk to.